Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trade Talk. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. And today, going to be a little bit of looking into some tools, because we all like tools, right? They help us get the jobs done. And whether you're in the trades or you're just someone, that's handy around the house, you just need some tools, some tool ideas of what to have on hand. We're going to go through that and we'll see what we can come up with. And I know all of you will have some suggestions as well for all those tools that you either want or tools that you need. And we'll see if we can't find some that are, practically priced. You don't need to go overboard with the high-end, expensive ones, especially if you're just starting out. That'll bankrupt you. You just need, middle-of-the-road stuff, and you'd want to stay away from the cheap Chinese-made junk. So I'll try to guide you on that, and hopefully we can both come out at the other end with a little bit better understanding of what some of the best tools are that we can get for the money. Also going to do a little bit of, as by request, a little bit of ladder safety, because there are so many accidents that happen, people falling off of ladders. Just unbelievable stuff that people try to do on ladders. So we'll do a little bit of ladder safety, because that's probably one of the most frequent accidents that happen in the home is people on top of ladders. So we'll go through that too. But first of all, I just want to say welcome to David Glenn. Nice to see you. And anyone else that happens to be lurking and listening, I appreciate you being here. Spend your time with me. And we're going to go through the news of the week, as I so often do, just to see how things are going on out there. Are things getting better for the economy? Are they getting worse? Are they building more facilities, more factories, or are they shuttering them? Let's have a look here. This is what they see on a place called Plant Magazine. And right off the bat, the first thing I saw was China slams Canada over decision to introduce electric vehicle tariffs. Oh no, not China. Please, China. Don't slam us over putting tariffs on your garbage vehicles. Oh, and before I get to that, how you doing, Human Blaze the Cat, and everyone's favorite kaiju, Godzillionaire? Yes, sir, the news. China slammed Canada's decision to impose a 100% import tariff on Chinese electric vehicles Tuesday, accusing it of politicizing trade and vowing to retaliate. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the move at the federal cabinet retreat in Halifax on Monday, 4 months after U.S. President Joe Biden announced similar plans. Europe is also planning tariffs, though at a lower rate. Well, don't forget to condemn Europe as well there, China. Don't just come after us. Canadian automakers welcomed the plan, though some environmental activists panned it, fearing it would slow uptake of electric vehicles in Canada by keeping cheaper options out of the market. Yeah, cheaper and more garbage. According to a Chinese government transcript of a media briefing in Beijing Tuesday, a spokesman for China's foreign minister said the Canadian move ignores facts, disrespects WTO rules, and runs counter to historical trends. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a friggin' river. You guys make cheap garbage. That's all there is to it. Man, welcome, DJ Ronnie G. Just getting home there, DJ. And you can start your weekend. What is it with the kick spam? I don't know, David. Thanks for getting rid of them, though. Or if you guys see that, don't be afraid to just get rid of them. I don't care for the kick spammers. This typical protectionist move disrupts China-Canada trade relations, harms the interests of Canadian companies and consumers, and does little good to Canada's green transition process and global effort for climate response. I'm going to turn that around and say, what are you doing, China, about your global climate effort? What are you doing? Are you doing anything? You do have 1.5 billion people. Are you doing anything? No? You run a lot of coal? Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. China deplores and opposes this. Canada says it has evidence proving China unfairly subsidizes its EV industry and overproduces vehicles to flood the market. True. With the cheaper cars that pose unfair competition. Canada also argues that China's industry fails to follow adequate environmental and labor standards. Also true. We have put a price on paying our workers fairly, Canadian Trade Minister Mary Ng said Tuesday, responding to China's criticisms. We pay our workers and we have high environmental standards. Those are wired into the trade agreements that this government has negotiated time and again. And fair trade means level the playing field for fair trade rules. Fair trade rules mean fair trade for workers and the environmental protection. Canada has also invested massively in the EV industry with $53 billion in production subsidies and capital investments promised by the federal, Ontario, and Quebec governments in 13 new auto and battery plants. I mean, it just says it right there, subsidies. So the government is subsidizing private business. So, hello, pot, this is kettle. It's just absolute idiocy. Jiang dismissed the accusations from Canada, which are echoed by the U.S. and the European Union, that China is unfairly subsidizing its vehicle companies. Coming through the door, hey, DJ? Right on, man. The rapid development of China's EV industry is the result of persistent tech innovation. They steal a lot of their technical innovations. They've been caught at many trade shows after hours, opening up things, seeing how they work, taking pictures. So there's no real innovation from them. It's steal and copy. That's all it is. Well-established industrial and supply chains in full market competition, he said. This is what happens when our comparative advantages provide exactly what the market needs. He said, Canada must respect facts and correct this wrong decision at once. Yeah, good luck with that. China will take all measures necessary to safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese enterprises. Innovation falls off the back of a truck. Oh, hey, look what we found. Quick, let's copy it. China also vowed retaliation against the U.S. Ooh, I bet you guys are just quaking, eh? And Europe, when the tariffs were first announced in June, but it has yet to take any action related to the U.S. For Europe, it has announced reviews of certain products, including dairy and pork. I mean, what are you going to do? Stop importing dairy and pork to feed your 1 billion people? Okay. I mean, it sounds like something they would do anyway. China has in the past targeted Canadian canola and pork as retaliation for diplomatic disputes. The U.S. EV tariff was set to take effect on August 1st, but has been delayed until at least September, while Canada will kick in on October 1st. Additional tariffs of 25% on steel and aluminum products will take effect on October 15th, with the final list, which includes which products will be expected on October 1st. Canada will be launching consultations to consider adding tariffs to electric vehicle batteries, battery parts, critical minerals, solar cells, and semiconductors. The U.S. has already planned tariffs on those products, taking effect between 2024 and 2026. Oh, especially since they had to cull their swine herds due to disease. Yeah, sounds about right. Flavio Volpe, president of the Automotive Parts Manufacturers Association, has said he has been lobbying Canada and the U.S. for the tariffs for almost a year. We worked very hard to get Ottawa and Washington to understand the Chinese EV threat. China is the world's biggest EV manufacturer, accounting for nearly 60% of total global production. The China Association of Automobile Manufacturers said 6 million EVs were produced in 2023, about 1.5 million were exported. BYD, one of the biggest Chinese EV brands, sold 3 million electric vehicles last year. Tesla, once the world's largest electric car maker, sold 1.8 million. No Chinese brands are sold in Canada yet. Only some Teslas manufactured in the company's Shanghai plant would be affected by the tariffs immediately, but BYD set up a corporate presence in Canada and is looking to enter the market as early as 2025. It has quickly gained a foothold in Europe and Australia and is exploring a production site in Mexico. While the average cost of EV in Canada is about $70,000, BYD introduced one last year called the Seagull, which sells for about $13,000. Probably flies just as well, too. I mean, I've seen a lot of videos about their EV cars burning up on their own, so I'm not rushing out to get a a Chinese import EV vehicle. No thanks. Let's see what else we got here for news. POET reorganizing engineering team in response to AI demand. Electra Battery Materials engages Altitude Capital Consultants. Atkins Realis to sign the expansion for vaccine manufacturing facility in Montreal. Oh no. Why would you need an expansion for a vaccine manufacturing facility? The expansion is part of Canada's biomanufacturing and life sciences strategy, pandemic preparedness plan to domestically manufacture and supply vaccines. Yeah, DJ, the BYD cars have many weird issues. Peeling paint on new cars? Yeah, it's just, that's their prepping process. They haven't prepped the substrate. When they're going to paint it, they probably don't prepare it properly, and then the paint just peels off. Was it a flock of seagulls? Check the hair. What up, tits? Nice to see you, man. Let's check what this is all about. Atkins Realis Group, an engineering services and a nuclear company, has won a mandate from Jubilant Hollister Steer, a global pharmaceutical contract manufacturer, to provide detailed design for their expansion of their sterile injectable facility in Montreal. The expansion is part of Canada's biomanufacturing and life sciences strategy pandemic preparedness plan to domestically manufacture and supply vaccines. The facility upgrades will more than double its fill and finish capacity, which involves filling vaccine vials and preparing them for distribution, and enhance the existing 40,000 square foot site to offer versatile manufacturing capabilities for various vaccine types and formats. This flexibility will enable the facility to respond to future health emergencies by producing a wide range of vaccines. Worse at self-driving than Petey. Yeah, I like Petey's driving. He's my favorite Brooklyn robot. Hey, I'm driving he. There's your cue to change to live chat. Yeah, always got to do that live chat, you guys. If you wanted to ride a bum, you get a 72 Pinto. Yeah. Oh, I remember those. Our life sciences and pharmaceutical capabilities are in demand and helping improve health outcomes in the communities we serve, commented Ian L. Edwards, President and Chief Executive Officer at Atkins Realis. We operationalize our purpose of engineering a better future for our planet and its people by working with clients in this space to ramp up their facilities to deliver cutting-edge medicine in a post-pandemic world, having completed prior phases of work on this project for Jubilant Hollister. This new mandate is an endorsement of the quality of our service level, innovation, and expertise. Hey there, Anime Night. How you doing, bud? We're doing okay. I'm doing all right. Hope everyone else is. Atkins Realis Industrial Team will provide an integrated end-to-end solution for this phase of the project, including design and professional engineering services for the facility and its manufacturing processes. The new spaces are expected to be operational by late 2026. The facility's expansion is expected to generate contract development and manufacturing activities for other Quebec biopharmaceutical companies across the life sciences supply chain. Jubilant Hollister Steers expansion is partially funded by the Government of Canada Strategic Innovation Fund as well as the province of Quebec. So more government handouts. Animet Canada completes 2-year expansion of Ontario plant. Federal government invests in innovation and technology in Alberta. And Velen Inc. signs agreement with GAH SMR Technologies Canada. Figured you'd stop by going live tonight and show your support. Well, I appreciate that, Anime Night. And I hope you have yourself a good stream. So I have dealt with Velen before. I do have some of their valves. Velen, a Montreal-based manufacturer of industrial valves, has announced that it has entered into a main services agreement with Gesmer Technologies to supply products and services that may be required by GEH for the provision of a standalone small modular reactor to Ontario power generation. And hey there, Veritax, how you doing? Under the terms of the MSA, GEH has placed an initial purchase order with the company to develop technology and related products. Anticipated future purchase orders for similar SMRs in Canada, United States, and around the world, the receipt of which are dependent on Velen's continued ability to develop and deliver required products and services under the MSA. could have a material impact on the company's future revenue and results of operations. Sounds like they're going to be doing all right. Are they building another vaccine factory? What are they planning? COVID 25? Yes, tits. It's an expansion. And it's they're going to make the place bigger. So, but you know what? If we don't have to depend on China for stuff like that, then I'm okay with it. Go ahead, build it. Doesn't mean I have to take it. But yeah, I think let's see, what did I see here? Oh, here we go. This is what got me here. Canada must continue cutting emissions regardless of the actions of other polluters. This is by some political science professor at the University of Toronto. So he's some clown that sits behind a desk. And he writes, I have, over the years, lost count of the number of times I've seen or heard people say it doesn't matter what Canada or the more developed world does to reduce carbon emissions. It is argued that the main global problem is the major emitters such as China, India, Russia, and Brazil continue full tilt for economic growth at any carbon cost. And that, my friends, is true. You guys have heard me say multiple times. We have a population of about 36 million here in Canada. That is a drop in the bucket. That is like all of California. We put out negligible amounts of emissions. Whereas they have China, India, Russia, Brazil. These guys are going balls out, and they don't care. Nobody brings them to task and be like, hey, you guys are releasing a lot of emissions there. So until they're serious about it and they go after the giant polluters, we should just ignore them and do what we have to do. You know, if you defund his job, you guarantee the professor's emissions will go down. Yes, his emissions will go down. While it is true that emerging economies have a large carbon footprint, any conclusion that Canada should therefore stop reducing its emissions in response is dead wrong. We in Canada and in other richer nations must do both. Must do more on both to realize the intrinsic benefits of a greener environment and to expedite international cooperation in decarbonization. So this is the stupidest thing. Stop saying decarbonization. I'm all for reducing and getting rid of pollution, like sulfur dioxide and those and the smoke particulate, anything like that. Stop, take care of the pollution. And when that's taken care of, don't worry about the so-called carbon or, we need CO2. CO2 is necessary. Plants love CO2. So these idiots trying to get rid of, and they just throw the catchword out there, carbon. Get rid of carbon or reduce carbon footprint. We are made out of carbon. Wood is made out of carbon. It's stupidity. I can't talk because I'm so angry. Like, new levels of rage come when people are like this guy, who probably got paid to write this. Probably doesn't believe a word of it, but he's going to write it because he's a professor. So, without global cooperation, there is no hope. Okay, first of all, don't rely on global help from anybody. Nobody is going to come and help us out here. We have to do it all on our own. And I say, you know what? Until they're serious and go after the big polluters, we shouldn't even bother. We're a drop in the bucket. Decarbonation is a myth. You don't get rid of carbon. You only change how it appears in the environment. True. That's a good one, Veritax. Good point. Carbon good. Bureaucrats bad. Good old tits. Conservation of mass, energy, laws of chemistry. Yes, exactly. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change form. That's right. All life is made of carbon. The writer got a C- in biology. Yep. They ignore more plants grow and grow better with more CO2. Yep. 100%, James. Welcome. Good to see you. According to the emissions database for global atmospheric research, in 2022, China alone accounted for 29.2% of global carbon emissions. Oh my God, not carbon emissions. Increasing by 285% between 1990 and 2022. The United States and European Union, by contrast, are both succeeding in reducing their emissions, in totals representing only 11.2 and 6.7. The EU had the best record. They're also suffering the most because they're idiots. Germany getting rid of their coal-fired plants or their natural gas plants and trying to rely on solar. I hope you guys make yourselves lots of sweaters because you're going to freeze in the wintertime. Canada has a relatively poor emissions record for a rich country. Canada accounted for only 1.4% of global greenhouse gas emissions. First of all, greenhouse gases. That's stupid. Who cares about that? I care more about pollution, not stupid greenhouse gases. And ours was only 1.4%. Between 1990 and 2022, Canada's emissions increased by 16.5%, while emissions in the EU dropped. Who cares? In 2021, the federal government committed Canada to reduce emissions by 40 to 45% below 2005 levels by 2030. They did fall by 7.1%. However, a major part of that decrease stems from the pandemic shutdown of 2020. Who cares? We switch our view from country emissions to per capita emissions and the historical contributions to global warming. Okay, this idiot's going on about global warming now. And per capita emissions in Canada, for example, are around double that. That's a bold-faced lie. Per capita means by per population. It's only because they have 1 billion people that they can dilute it so much between everybody. If you put the same amount of people in China and the same as Canada, then it's all rather mentally exhausting. I get it. There's a reason industrial greenhouses have those huge CO2 generators. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I don't want to keep reading this because it's just getting me madder and madder at all this stupidity. So let's do that. Let's look for those industrial CO2 generators. Why would you need an industrial CO2 generator? I thought we were trying to cut that down. Oh, that's not that good. Actually, screw Google. We're going to DuckDuckGo. I like that better. Industrial CO2 generator. That whole sentence is sleight of hand. Yeah. Huge waste of time and resources. Yep. I agree, DJ. You don't think we can reduce carbon enough to harm plants, but I do believe it diverts resources from things that matter. 16.5% of 1.5% is only 0.00231 or 0.231%. Yeah, there you go, Veritex. Veritex with the math. If energy production produces unwanted carbon or any pollution, go nuclear or get banned. You were away from home for about 2 hours this evening. Your cat was rather insistent about being fed, so kibble provided, which she promptly ignored. Yeah, cats do that. I'm starving. And then you try to feed them, and they're like, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. Let's see. CO2 generator, 8 burner. There's got to be bigger ones than that. You like SMRs because they're less likely to have catastrophic failure modes? Yeah, that's good. We don't want meltdowns there, DJ. So from 1.4% to 1.6%. Ooh, big. Yeah, I know. That was the thing, Veritex. That was, those guys they're being very disingenuous with their argument. What do we got here? Aquarium CO2 generator system? The first transcritical CO2 industrial refrigeration system? No. Whose tits were those on your screen? I know those tits. Well, I hope so. Means you're a man of taste. Here's a CO2 recovery plant. I mean, when I worked at the steel fab shop, we had a giant tank full of CO2 for the welders to use, because that's what they'd use as their shielding gas. So we used so much of it, we had a giant tank, and a hose would go to each station, and the guys would use that as their shielding gas. I don't know if I'm finding the right thing here for you, tits, but if you guys have any pictures of CO2 generators, yeah, feel free. Throw the links in there. She's decent for a cat, keeps the mice in check at least. Hey, that's a good mouser. That's great, James. You had to trick her by feeding her tuna one day, and then I dipped her pellets in tuna juice the following day before I got back to her normal diet. Ah. But my positive feedback loops. Gonna make a cancer enhancer for your enjoyment? Ah, okay. You have a good one, James. But yeah, I can't stand it when they don't bring the other side of the argument too. They're just like, we got to lower greenhouse gases and decarbonize. And it's like, what's your proof? Why do we have to do that? You better start making sense and don't just tell me what to do. Present me with some evidence so I can make an informed decision on my own. Don't tell me what I have to do. CO2 generator, 315 kilowatt CO2 laser air compressor. Try CO2 generator green. Okay. CO2 generator greenhouse. Maybe I'll just do a large size there. There we go. Apparently you can get one from Alibaba. Solar power generator, mini CO2 generator. Well, it's a mini, it's not. Here's CO2 generator, China horticultural material. So there they are. They're adding CO2. This is all Chinese stuff. Don't we have any in North America? Okay, that looks pretty huge. That thing's on its own skid. It's got it's got like a big tank on it. CO2 concentrator. Oh, thanks, DJ. Let's see where this goes. Atmospheric CO2 analysis instrument. It's a CO2 concentrator and purifier for stable and radiogenic C isotopes analysis. It is a state-of-the-art instrument for the separation and measurement of C stable and radioisotopes in atmospheric CO2. Fancy. That's getting into the scientific stuff here. You saw one once. Yeah. The automatic air pumping, absorption, and desorption systems make this instrument easy to use. With the new C quantum CO2 absorption system, a large amount of carbon dioxide can be treated with an automatic regeneration system, resulting in more precise results and greater performances compared to other systems. Damn it, Jim. I'm a rancher, not a climate scientist. Yeah, that's right, Jay. That's right, Tits. That's the way I feel sometimes, too. It's like, if they can't explain, if the people that are telling you things can't explain it to you on the level of a 5-year-old so that you understand it, then they're part of the problem. They don't even know what they're talking about. But if you can explain something to someone so that they get, or so you explain it so that a 5-year-old can understand it, then you at least know what you're talking about. Anyways, well, I appreciate you guys telling me that. I did not even know about CO2 generators or CO2 concentrators. So I'm glad I know about that now, because I guess they use you guys say they use them in greenhouses, and why do they use them in greenhouses? Because they need CO2. Stop trying to take CO2 away from us. I don't get it. They want to kill all the plants or something and put people into starvation and all that stuff. It uses quantum entanglement. It's better, right? No matter how much Canada cuts, they could gut it all tomorrow and it would be overwhelmed by the increase of the emergency market. Yes, Veritax, yes. You're 100% right. Cannabis industry uses such things. I believe that because they want high yield and all that in their for all their stuff, all the stuff they're growing. Yeah. Or is it just a spin cast reel? I don't know. It looks kind of like a spin cast reel. I like it though. I like it when you guys can tell me something that I've never seen before. Not that I've seen everything, but it's nice when you guys are like, hey, look at this thing. This thing does this. And it's like, oh, I learn something new every day. Try to learn something new. All I'm saying is we're doing fine. I use gas monitors every day. And unless our oxygen is going down, which is not, it's always at 20.9% of the atmosphere. If it gets down to 19, we have to worry. 19.5 is where you start to worry. As long as our oxygen is still up there, that's good. I mean, the rest of the atmosphere is nitrogen, 78%. So you've got 78 plus 20.9. That's 98.9%. So whatever's left, that 1.1%, is all the other gases ever in the atmosphere. So go fishing and relax a while. Oh yeah, let's calm down. Let's bring it in. We are at the end of a glacial maximum. Oh, okay. I think I brought up a picture that one day about where we are on the heating and cooling cycle and of a longer timeline. And I know everyone's like, oh my God, global warming. Well, climate change they call it now, but global warming and global cooling, because in the 70s they kept saying we're going to have an ice age, and then all of a sudden it wasn't happening, and then in the 90s it was like, oh, global warming, or the ozone layer, right? And then the 2000s, global warming. Idaho, it's not just for potatoes and large women anymore. Give me a hit of that argon. Yeah, a tiny bit of argon, krypton, and Taco Bell farts. Yep. BS are backed by biased papers that are started based on established preconceptions. Thank you, DJ. That is exactly what that is. But let's reel this on in, and I want to tell you guys about tools. Yes. Whether you are starting out in the trades or you're just a guy at home who needs to have some tools, we're going to try to guide you in the right direction for what you need for tools. First of all, before you buy any tools, buy yourself something to store it in. Get yourself, just a nice sized toolbox. You don't need one with wheels or a mobile workbench. All you need is something to start with. This is if you're starting out. If you've already come a long ways and you know what you want, you're either going to get yourself a standard duty toolbox, or if you're more serious and you can get heavy duty, and only if you're using this for your job would you get a professional duty toolbox like that is a lot. And that's going to be very expensive. And we don't want to spend a lot on tools. You want to get the best value for your money. My best advice to you is get the best value for the money. You ran into this problem yesterday. You refused to marry condo my tools. All tools bring me joy. You watched a comparison video recently? Oh, okay. Tools? You thought Trudeau was leaving? Yeah, I wish. I watched him on a YouTube short get just strip ripped off him by a steel worker. The guy was like, I don't believe you. And you know what? You're going to be gone in a year anyway. You're done. So it's nice to see that happening in real time. Pegboard. Yes, David Glenn. Pegboard works wonders for storage. But yeah, let's start out with, let's say you're just starting out. Get yourself a toolbox. And just ignore all the fancy names. You don't need, if you like red, buy Milwaukee. If you like yellow, go DeWalt. They're yellow and black. Rigid is orange and black. So you've got your choice. But get yourself one that's going to fit in your garage. Or if you don't have a garage, if you live in an apartment, get one that you can lug around. Like this guy here. This seems to be okay. It's 22 inches long, it looks like. It's a rigid. And that way you can haul it around with you. Because as soon as you fill out the tools, the thing's going to get massively heavy. So make sure it's easy enough to lug around. You can even get fancy ones that are like your carry-on luggage. They have wheels on them and everything like that. So you can even get something like this, a small tool case. Here's one on wheels. It's a tower. That's not bad. There you are. There's the one right there. It's pack out. Once again, you're paying big bucks, though, because it's Milwaukee. Right? I'm sure you can find something. Get a big toolbox. You end up like you. You better have over 50 for the lunch pail toolboxes. And for God's sakes, organize your tools. I couldn't agree more, tits. Harbor Freight premium wrenches did okay. Snap-on were the best, but they were the most money. Yes, by a large margin. There were some Craftsman that used a Mac design, which were good. Yeah, Craftsman were my very first tools I got. Your mini drill press spent 2 years on your kitchen counter until you built my workbench. Nice. See, there you go. You gotta improvise. Okay, there's a nice Stanley one. That's another, and look at that. It's not even that expensive. You can get yourself a nice Stanley toolbox for $18.98. That's Canadian. So there you go. That's a nice one. I would get something like that. Or this Husky. That's a three-drawer metal toolbox. That's okay too. Make sure that for every socket or wrench you buy the metric equivalent because you might work in Kazakhstan. Yep. Don't forget stuff gets made in Europe, and that's going to be all metric as well. Same with your cars. Your cars are always going to be metric. So have yourself a small metric set. Yeah, two Godzilla toolboxes. I mean, that's the important first step is getting yourself a toolbox to store your tools. You still have your own first toolbox, an old gray Craftsman. Nice, Veritax. That's awesome. Yes, James. Garage sales and estate sales are a good place to find toolboxes and tools. Yeah, here you go. Stanley. $6 for a 12.5-inch 1-gallon essential toolbox with lid organizers. I mean, it doesn't get much cheaper than that. So you can take a trip over to your Home Depot. You even have Ryobi, but that's more expensive. You can get the basics to get you started. This is just to get you started. You want to get a little bit more fancy, you're going to start knowing stuff you want. This one with the wheels that you can tote around, that's nice. Plenty of storage. You can put your big stuff in the bottom, put your hand tools in the top. Take it with you. Should go right through doorways and not easy to lug around. You don't have to strain your back. You tried buying metric drill bits at your local hardware store. The salesperson almost had a stroke trying to imagine such a thing. Really? I didn't think it would be that difficult. It's like, okay, here's a 4mm one, here's a 5mm one, here's 6mm one. It's not that difficult, but I guess maybe for him it was. All kinds of stuff, really. Just finished your living room for maybe $100 from an estate sale. Nicely done, James. Good on you. Oh, furnished your living room. There you go. But yes, get yourself a toolbox first. Then after you get a toolbox, you'll want to get some tools to put in it. And right off the bat, you can start out with some wrenches. Wrenches are easy. And they are, you're only going to need maybe going from 7/16 to 3/4. I mean, if you go bigger than that, you might be used a little less, but 1/4 inch to 3/4 will usually cover everything you're going to encounter. Because a 7/16 wrench is for 1/4 inch bolt. And 3/4 inch wrench is for 1/2 inch bolt. So if you're using bigger than 1/2 inch, you're getting into some serious stuff here. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what they have for wrenches. Okay, here we go. And you're always going to want to use a combination one. And combination just means that it's a box end on one end and open on the other. You can get open ends on each end, or you can get box ends on each end. But having the open end and the box end on one wrench, that makes for a nice one. And here you have Husky. They have a 10-piece. It's metric, but that's okay. You can get SAE and metric combination wrenches for $89. That's good for Husky. I don't know how you guys feel about the Husky brand. About a year ago, you bought a snap-on lugger for your tractor. Your lugger snapped upon first use. Oh, geez. Yeah, wrenches, sockets, and screwdrivers. That's right. You need a tool backpack for your portable tool set. That's what happens, right, Godzillionaire? You're experiencing sticker shock just on material prices lately. Got to redo the deck and porch and a bunch of home improvement stuff, really. Always buy 2 of any 10mm tool. Well, 10 mils kind of matches up with 3/8. So you may be lucky you can use this for double duty. But as you can see, Milwaukee here, you're paying for the name. Like $178 for that? No way, man. No way. I don't care if they say Milwaukee on them. Like I say, I would buy Craftsman or Westward. Westward's a Grainger one they carry. That's a Grainger name. What else they got? Okay, well, DeWalt has their own thing. Gear wrench. So if you want to get even more fancy, you can get gear wrenches. It says here, gear, like the actual gear wrench brand. Combination ratcheting wrench, 20-piece, SAE and metric for $139. That's a pretty decent price. At least it's the gear wrench brand. Are those? Yeah, those are gear. Some are gear wrenches, Godzillionaire. Craftsman's all Chinese now, not what it used to be. Aw, man. Okay, well, thanks for the heads up on that. Some bicycle tools are better for portable, compact, lightweight, serviceable. Okay, I didn't think about bicycle tools. More Husky. Here's Crescent brand. So people call it a Crescent wrench but Crescent is a brand name. It just so happened that their name got popular for that style of adjustable wrench. Craftsman and Westward are still good, Tits and Ray Guns are saying. Well, I shop at Grainger for work because we have an account there. So I'm not spending my money on it, But we can look at what they got going on here. Come on, Granger. Snap it up. There we go. Wrenches. Hand tools. Those are nice, but you're not sure how strong they are? You're talking about the Blackhawk via Napa stores are still good? Okay. Yeah, I'm with Tits. The Craftsmans I have are all from the 90s as well. That's when I started. That's when I picked up my tools. Combination wrench sets right here. No, I don't want to sign in. Westward combo wrench set. 1/4 inch to 1 1/4 inch. Okay, so you're going really big. Milwaukee combination wrench set. 232. Like, man. Settle down, Milwaukee. Ratchet wrenches, $153 for a set of 12, or set of 8. They're 12 point. Milwaukee, Westward. It usually tells you the brand. Yeah, there's the brand right there. Facom, Gear Wrench, Gray Tools. Gray is really good. Gray is a Canadian brand. So they're going to be pricey. Like, look at that, $800 for this wrench set. 14-piece wrench set. But they're made in Canada. But that's Gray Tools. Proto is also good. I haven't had any trouble with Proto tools. But once again, they are on the high end. Like a 20-piece wrench set for $1,500. Ratcheting wrench set combination, $668. Yeah, they are expensive. But if you go to Westward, they are not bad. The gear wrench wrenches, you're guessing the ratchet mechanism is not as strong as a basic box end wrench. That's true. So you can't put a snipe on it and then you'll just bust the ratchet mechanism. Your basic box end is going to be stronger, of course. And buy tools specific to your needs. Don't just buy everything and stick in the barn like me. Yeah, there you go. Listen to Life Lessons with Tits there. He's got the life lessons to teach everybody. You don't have to go, if you're just starting out, you don't have to go stock up on every single thing. Oh, I need some wrenches. Okay, just go get it. Right? I need a hammer. Okay, well, go get a hammer. But yes, middle of the road is what we want to go with our buying. Looks like Craftsman started outsourcing to China in 2010. Okay. If you make your living with these tools, $150 for a set ain't bad. Yes, and that's the difference. Whether you're just starting out and you're not a journeyman yet, but you're starting out, you don't have to buy like top of the line. First of all, because you're going to lose tools or guys are going to take them on you. So you got to just you shouldn't buy top of the line, then people will leave your tools alone. And then once you move along and you're like, okay, well, I'm making a living with this and I'm going to have to splurge for, the next level up. So move the next level up and get those wrenches that maybe were out of your price range earlier on in your career. So wrenches are easy. What's with them using plastic gears now? I mean, price. It's cheaper to make a plastic gear than it is to do a metal gear. That's got to be it. Also, if you break it, what's the first thing they ask you? Oh, we're using it for its intended purpose? And you'd have to prove to them that you were. But if you break it, it's like, oh, well, we're not going to give you a new one. And that's why they make them that's why they can be so cheap. Starting out like Jane buying from garage sale, estate sales is the action. Yep, it sure is. You can always upgrade later and put your lower tier stuff in the basement or pass it on. Pass it along to someone who's just starting out, or keep a spare set in your car. For the longest time, I had a spare set of tools just in the trunk of my car. Just in case. You never know. Never lend a tool, you do, and it's gone. Yep. Especially if you lend a really nice one out to somebody, and they're like, oh, hey, oh, sorry, I broke it on you. I think your first tool sets were the Craftsman screwdriver Phillips standard set, adjustable crescent wrench, and then a socket set, still in a gray folding case. You still have it. Nice. You recently bought a nice Pittsburgh socket set. It's so flat it slides easily under a bed, out of the way, and always nowhere. Yeah, there you go. That's good. That's good stuff, Veritax. Exactly what you want to do. Let's talk screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are, very important as well. Whether they are stubbies or long ones, or what's the head style on them? What are they using? You can get screwdriver sets easy, and they're cheap too. Screwdriver sets are cheap. Get yourself some flathead ones. Get some Phillips and get some Robertson. For you guys that don't know what Robertson is, it's the recessed square. And there will always be Torx ones to use as well for more specialty things. They start to use those fancy ones. Or you can get a Klein 14-in-1 multi-bit. But just be aware that maybe those bits aren't as tough as they could be. But yes, I always like the individual screwdrivers with their individual styles. Some tools in your car will save you hundreds of dollars. Just simple jobs like headlamp replacement or oil change. Yep, 100%, James. Most people put too much orange juice in their not enough vodka. For older cars, that's true. Newer ones, you have to take so much apart to replace a bulb. But yes, Veritax is right. They are not friendly, user-friendly cars, maintenance-friendly at all. There's the old acetate-handled screwdrivers. You guys remember these, eh? But yes, get yourself... get some stubbies as well, because that's good for getting into the hard-to-reach areas. Stubby screwdrivers, and then you'll get yourself a Phillips number 1, number 2, and number 3. That's usually what you need. Very rarely you need a Phillips number 0, but for small stuff, you might. And then get yourself a Robertson number 1, 2, and 3, because that's how they state the sizes. And then a slotted one. And they go by the width of the slot. You like having a ratcheting T-handle set? Works out great for simple stuff around the house? Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Godzillionaire. Ratcheting T-handles are nice. You should also get one of those nice combination Allen wrenches that are on one thing. So much... Yeah! No, I get you, Veritax. So Allen wrenches are important as well. You can get here you can even get the bits, screwdriver bit set that you use with your impact or your driver. So that's a good idea too. Get yourself one of these. You'll have all the bits, and you can use them in a drill driver. But yeah, I got to be careful because you can make your screws round real quick, so I would be extra careful of that. You got some super cheap tools that you have done fine. Not everything needs to be top dollar. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying, James. You don't need everything. If you're using them for your profession, then get some good quality ones, because you don't want them to let you down, because you are going to abuse them when you're on the job. They don't want you to work on your car anymore. Oh yeah, that was a long time ago, tits. You betcha. You'd look at your house. What might you be able to work on? A table, wrench, or a screwdriver, plumbing, maybe a channel lock, regular wrenches. Yeah. Allen wrenches are important for putting together modular furniture. Yes, thank you, IKEA. Screwdrivers like dates hinge on slot width. Yes. I'll leave you with that one. Get the screw bits and a match drill bit set. Yes, there you go. Godzillionaire knows where it's at. He's got good advice too. For things like doorknob, bath, shower knobs, handle. Yep, 100%. Bicycles use Allen bolts. All okay. Yeah. If you wait till Christmas time or after New Year when they have excess tools, you may find deal. Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for those deals. Sometimes they don't advertise them, like at Canadian Tire when you walk through the aisleway. Sometimes you'll see stuff that they don't advertise in the flyers there, and it's just like, oh. So another thing you're going to need is a hammer. And most of the times, for just working around the home, you'll just need a claw hammer. You shouldn't need a ball peen hammer unless you're like forming metal, because that's what ball peens are for. They're used for metal work. But yeah, a claw hammer, simple 16-ounce one is fine. You can get like heavier ones, but why? 22-ounce milled face framing hammer. Unless you're doing lots of framing, don't bother. Just get yourself a nice 16-ounce hammer. That'll work for everything you need to do. Claw hammer and a rubber mallet. There you go. So here they have a 4-pound fiberglass engineer hammer. We call this a mini sledge. That's for really smashing stuff down that you that needs to get smashed. I don't know if you'd need one of those to start. I think just a nice claw hammer. Like Godzillionaire said, rubber mallet. Rubber mallet to keep from marring the finish on things. Yeah, they're good for buffing out stuff. And a dead blow. It could be a dead blow rubber hammer as well, so that when you hit something, it just stops right away. It doesn't bounce on it. It just goes boom, and that's it, and it stops. I don't even know if they have rubber mallets here. Rubber mallet. There you go. 16-ounce rubber mallet. It's $5.98. It's $6 for a rubber mallet. Or you can get $29 or a $30 one from Rigid. I mean, just a Stanley one with the rubber and the wooden handle is good enough. You don't have to go fancy like Rigid. Or you can get the ones with the exchangeable caps. So some will have like a plastic head on them, and you can screw and put in different caps on the end of your mallet. That way you can have like a plastic one or, a rubber one, just for different things you're doing. 16 ounce is the sweet spot. You got her, tits. Yeah, knocking out dents. When you buy your Ryobi drill set, it came with 2 batteries, charger, and impact driver, and then you got a drill bit and screw bit set. Damn. Veritax with the good deal there. Yeah, ball peen for working on a car. Of course, you're probably taking the dents out. Claw scares your eyeballs. That's okay. You got to be careful then. You got a lot of use out of an old rechargeable cordless Black & Decker screwdriver 15 years ago. You don't pull out as many nails these days. No. Another thing you may want in your tool set, a flashlight, a headlamp, and a snake light. So yes, I agree with Veritax. Flashlight, maybe one that's magnetic. You can have it cling onto places where you need it, or if it has a little hook on it, you can hook it onto places. Rechargeable one would be good, or something you could put on your head. A good headlamp is a good idea. And I mean, they're so lightweight now and bright from LEDs, and you can control the spot, how big the spotlight is, and you can pay anywhere from $19. It looks like up to $112 for these things. So yeah, I would definitely get one of these, especially if it can keep your hands free. Because you always need to have light while you're trying to do something. Got you a nail gun and a gas stapler. You haven't hammered a nail in decades. That's why it's keeping you from doing that. You bought it just so it would stop you from having to nail. Every time you have a project, it seems like you have to buy more tools, though. Okay, well, that's what'll happen. It's like, well, I need to do this. Okay. I'm going to need this to do it. So you can go and get it, and then you have it for the next time. You can't fix what you can't see. Yeah, nothing wrong here. I can't see it. So yes, a hammer, a flashlight. I was talking with Veritax on Twitter, and he probably could have used a hacksaw. Hacksaw is a good one to have. And you can get these nice ones too. Like there's the full-size one, but there's a small one. Help you get into tight places where you just need to use the tip of it here. And then you can get the different kinds of blades. Just remember, the harder the material, the more teeth per inch you want. So if you're going to go into something hard like stainless, probably want 32 teeth per inch or something like that. I think general size is about maybe 18 to 24 teeth per inch. And then stuff like aluminum, if you're doing that, maybe 12 if you can find it, 12 teeth per inch. But yeah, you can get a mini hacksaw. You can get the full-size one. You can get a cordless one. And there you go. You can buy a 24 teeth per inch, 32, 18. Here's a 5-piece hammer and hacksaw set with foam tool organizer. Headlamps beat those lamps we used to hang on the hood that didn't illuminate anything. Oh, trouble light. That's what you're talking about, tits. Yeah, it would always twist the wrong way, or it would get wet and the bulb would go poof. It's a bit like collecting baseball cards. A complete set seems to be worth more. Yeah, get yourself the complete set, eh? Another thing on screwdrivers, if you work on small devices, buy a lot of different small ones in Phillips, Standard, Torx, and I forget the other one. It's a star, and there's a square bit. Yep. Yeah, Veritax. You can get, for working on small devices, you can pick up a whole kit. And it's got all like the tri-wing stuff that you need, all that kind of stuff. Copper pipes, you want 18, or you'll flare the pipe end. You forget the metal screwdrivers that have the end you can hold and then twist the handle while holding it, and it turns inside itself. Oh. You're talking about the ratcheting one? Those are handy. You can get a cheap precision screwdriver set pretty cheap. Yeah, there you are. Godzillionaire coming in with the knowledge. Yeah, I don't think you need to break the bank for the small ones. Plumber should invest in a good pipe threader, buy nice or pay twice. So yeah, for me, if I want to thread pipe, it's rigid. Rigid threader, either it's a power threader or a hand threader, it's always going to be rigid. They do a good job. They've been around a long time. And I've used them lots. You also recommend a cheap, yours is the Harbor Freight voltmeter, just something to test continuity. Yep. I mean, you can just get a small handheld multimeter. You don't have to break the bank either. Like Godzilla said, he got one from Harbor Freight, but this one's from Klein Tools and it's $44. I mean, holy, why not? And there's a digital clamp-on meter. That's getting a little more fancy. You're trying to check for amperage and such while the things are running. You're going to get a clamp-on meter. You don't have to get anything too. That was the old analog one. Wow. $28 for an analog one. Yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. But yeah, you can just get a small one just for your projects around the house. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. You're just starting out, so you just need something that'll do the job. Can you imagine how expensive tools would be if you had to buy every one from the village blacksmith? Yeah, made it from scratch. Just say goodbye to just going to the store for something you lost or broke last week. Yep. I showed a really good digital meter last week that he'll love. Really? Klein multimeter? Yeah, Klein deals in electronic or electrical stuff, so that's their business. And getting one for $44, I mean, that's pretty good. And this one goes up to 600 volts. Not like you'll ever see that at home. But it looks like it does volts. Hang on, let's zoom in here. Yeah, AC DC volts. Or here's DC volts. Here's AC volts. Diode checker. Continuity with sound. Amps. And 9 volt or 1.5 volt batteries. Okay. So it does quite a bit. And there you go, David. There's the Klein model you have. Yep. It's looking good. All right. So we've done a lot of things. We've gone through screwdrivers, hammers, saws, wrenches, flashlights, your toolbox. Don't forget safety glasses. Get yourself some goggles or a pair of safety glasses or a face shield. Because you don't want to have to be holding your hand over your eye thinking you have to drive yourself to the hospital to remove something from it. Too many times are guys having stuff to get pulled out of their eyes. Metal, you get in your eye, it's a little easy. It's easier to get with a magnet. Still hurts like hell though. Wood's not magnetic. So you're going to have to go there and they're going to have to try to, open your eye up and swab for it. And oh man, just better. Have I done pliers yet? Not yet, Godzilla. Let's do that now. Let's do pliers. When you guys are looking for pliers, I suggest getting a set of linesman and a set of needle nose. Of course, if you get it a set, you'll get some vice or some locking pliers, or they call it, the brand name's Vice Grip, and an adjustable. This comes with a needle nose, side cutters, which are good. I like a good set of side cutters, and water pump pliers or channel lock pliers or groove joint pliers. They have so many names. Yep, safety first. Don't listen to Six Fingered Pete. So there's a nice looking set of DeWalt right there. Your side cutters, you got your linesman, and then you got your needle nose. If you can, look for a set that has at least these like this, the different types. Get yourself a set of locking pliers. Those are super handy. They're great. You'll wonder what you did without them. The adjustable, okay, I mean, not my first choice. But getting a set of needle nose and diagonal side cutters and the water pump pliers, a definite must. And you can decide, what you want to get. Stanley seems to be good. They're not absorbently expensive. Here's a locking plier set, and it's a Husky brand. Now it's got a needle nose locking plier. That's a good, handy one. You can get into those narrow places with that. And then the other two are just, good for bigger stuff. Yeah, James, I agree. Klein's good stuff. Wire strippers are handier than you think. Get a Leatherman. Leatherman's good for when you're desperate and you're like, oh man, I didn't bring anything, and you got your Leatherman and you yard that out, and you just you can do what you can with it. You've got all those little tools in there. Here's Channel Lock brand. I do like this brand of groove straight jaw, tongue and groove straight jaw pliers. You're not a fan of using the adjustable knuckle buster? No, I am not. If I can have the right size wrench for it, I will. Adjustable is either I use it as a backup for when I'm using a real wrench on one end, and I'll use that as a backup to hold something from spinning. Or if I have nothing else available, I'm like, all right. Then I'll reluctantly use an adjustable wrench. Or if it's something I know that's not on there tight. You can get a pipe wrench. Just don't expect to use it a lot. And the jaws will mar the surface like crazy. So if you're going to get one, just keep that in mind. And you'll probably want to get an aluminum one. Nice, lightweight. You can get just get a plain steel one, and it'll be cheap, but it's going to be heavy, and you won't want to lug it around with you wherever you go. Stanley is Chinesium. What? By the time all these brands come back to the States, you'll be retired or dead. Oh man, let's hope not. Something to think about. Sometimes the tools are emergency safety equipment. If power goes out, everyone needs a flashlight. Maybe a headlight, maybe a battery-powered lantern. Yes. And we have those here. Mrs. Mechanic and myself have a emergency lanterns. One downstairs, one upstairs. We also have flashlights upstairs. It's good. We have candles. So yeah, we do have those things, and they are ready to go. Yeah, if trees are down, maybe a chainsaw. So in my Ryobi cordless pack, I got a chainsaw. So it came with a chainsaw in that big 10-pack I bought. So yeah, having a nice cordless chainsaw to take care of a tree or something, it might take a little bit because, it is battery powered, but it'll get the job done. Pipe wrenches are good for threatening thugs. Yeah, I agree. Oh, there we go. It's not Leatherman, but it's made by Coast, and it's a multi-tool. So it's got, things, a knife, pliers, for only $20. You thought pipe wrenches were only used by Colonel Mustard in the billiard room? Oh, yeah. Nope. People can use those. And one of my favorite brands that I was really liking is the Knipex. They are made in Germany. And I really like them. They do very well. But they are pricey. You're going to pay a lot for one set of these guys here. Wrench with comfort grip handles is almost $100. So shows your 41 carbine works on bears too. That was the lead pipe, maybe. Where you are, thugs come on 4 legs. Oh, those. They want to take your cattle from you, eh? Don't let them do that. Make sure you give them one. Get off my property. Give them one of those there, tits. But yes, pliers. Get yourself a good set of needle nose and the tongue and groove ones, otherwise known as water pump pliers, and some linemen's, because they're just good for grabbing and twisting. The locking ones. And what else? Oh yeah, side cutters. You know, you're cutting wires and such. Get yourself some good side cutters. It'll cut through them like butter. Project Farm sometimes does tool comparison videos. Yeah, I think I've seen that guy. Village Blacksmith makes you think of Fergus from Mabinogi. Mabinogi. He knows how to break things. As Kermit the Frog used to say, yippity yoppity, get off my property. Yeah, this is... Wow, a 10-piece screwdriver tool set. And it looks like it comes with some pliers and screwdriver set for $379. But that is nice. But that's also Knipex, so... You're going to pay for the German tools. You will pay for them if you want to buy them. Channel lock, linesman pliers. There you go. $50, middle of the road. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive, but they'll do good by you. And try to find sets if you can. Sets is probably your best value, rather than buying individual. Like this Dynamic Tools 5-piece plier set, $60, but you get needle nose, side cutters, you get some slip joint ones, more needle nose, and another one. What's green and smells like pork? Kermit's finger. Ah, yes, good old Kermit the Frog, eh? Miss that guy. Yeah, pliers. There you guys go. There is a lot more we could get into for tools, but we're going to move along now. And something that David brought up earlier was the ladder safety. So this is from the Canadian Centre of Occupational Health and Safety. And it goes over ladders. And specifically, portable ladders. Right? You guys know portable ladders are the ones you can pick up and take with you, right? Permanent ladders are the ones that are connected to the sides of buildings and tanks and such. What should you know about portable ladders before using them? Falls from portable ladders are a major source of serious injury. Be aware of the hazards and take proper precautions to prevent falling, as I explained to you guys earlier. Yeah, falling from ladders, like big time, is what majority of the things people get hurt from. Incidents involving ladders are usually caused by using the wrong ladder for the specific job. Yes. Using ladders that are defective or in poor condition. Yeah. You think to yourself, oh, I'll just use it a little bit. I won't be that hard on it. And then it breaks and you're on the ground. Improper care or use, including incorrect positioning, not securing the ladder properly, placing on poor footing. Workers not being trained adequately to maintain, use, or work from ladders. What should you do before using a ladder? Use a ladder designed for your task. Consider the strength, type, length, and Canadian Standards Association approval. Read and follow all the labels, markings on the ladder. Make sure the load rating is indicated on the ladder and appropriate for the user, equipment, and task. Inspect the ladder. Just a quick look over should do fine. Check and make sure the rungs aren't falling off. Make sure that if you're using a step ladder, make sure that the bars in between the two are in good shape. Yeah, James, drop tools. You're going to drop tools when you're on a ladder. People got to watch out. You got to make sure nobody's below you. Reject and tag any ladders that have defects. Have faulty ladders repaired or thrown out. So what we do at work, we throw them out. I was told this week that we have some ladders that don't have the proper labeling on of their capacity and the model and all that, and we have to throw them out. They're garbage. I said, okay, I'm going to buy some more. And I did. I bought 2 2-footers, 2 4-footers, 2 6-footers, and 2 8-footers. All brand new, all labeled properly. What else now? Get help when handling a heavy or long ladder. Yeah. If you're getting an extension ladder, get another guy to help you out, because those things are unruly and you're gonna drop it. Keep ladders away from power wires, and if electricity is a hazard, a fiberglass ladder should be used. Yes, we've switched. We do not have any more aluminum ladders on site. They are now all fiberglass. Tie off extensions or straight ladders at the top and secure bottom to prevent them from slipping. So you're supposed to tie off the top and the bottom, David. And with extensions, you want, I don't know if to tell you in this thing, but when you're going onto a roof, you want to go 3 feet above with the ladder. You don't want to have it so it just makes it. All ladders are portable if you believe hard enough, and chair is not a ladder. That's right, tits, you got her. One more thing that's easy to think about: if you do a lot of working on things that aren't smooth, get appropriate gloves. For a car mechanic's glove for wood, maybe something to prevent splintering. Yes, Veritax, exactly. Gloves are very important. The major injuries at work are to the hands. It's always going to be a finger or the palm or the wrist, whatever it is. Your hand is going to get hurt because you're probably putting it where you shouldn't, or you're touching things without properly protecting yourself. This is more for at the plant site. Set up barricades and warning signs when using a ladder in a doorway or passageway. So I myself personally got knocked off a ladder, and I had a sign on the other side of the door that said, "Do not enter, man on ladder." But what happened? Somebody didn't even bother reading it. They just came barging in, boom, hit the ladder, knocked me off the ladder. It wasn't major, like I wasn't majorly hurt, but just goes to show you that even if you put a sign up, guys are going to just be not even paying attention, come barging through. Before mounting a ladder, clean the boot soles. If they are muddy or slippery, avoid climbing with wet soles. Ensure the footwear is in good condition. Face the ladder when going up or down or when working from it. Keep the center of your body within the middle of the side rails. So there's something called the belt buckle rule. If you keep your belt buckle between the rails of the ladder, you will not fall off of it. As soon as you put your belt buckle outside of the rails of the ladder, you're going to fall. So just consider that when you're working on a ladder. Consider having another worker hold to support the base of the ladder when needed. Yes, that's a good idea too. What should you avoid when using a ladder? Don't use it in a horizontal position as a scaffold, plank, or runway. Don't carry objects in your hands while on a ladder. Hoist materials or attach tools to a belt. Do not work from the top 3 rungs. The higher a person goes on a ladder, the greater the possibility the ladder will slip out at the base. Do not use items such as a chair, barrel, or box as a makeshift ladder. Do not use a portable ladder when other types of equipment and safe means of access are available. Replace a ladder with a fixed stairway or scaffold. Do not join 2 short ladders to make one longer ladder. Side rails are not strong enough to support the extra load. Do not paint wooden ladders. Paint may hide defects. Wood preservatives or clear coatings may be used. Yes, tits, gloves are essential safety equipment. What was the sign in English and French, eh? It was in English, I tell you. Because we are far away from Quebec, we do not have to put our signs in French. Using a wooden ladder that won't set up level or rocks too much. Yep. Don't use a tall ladder if you can't deploy it safely at height. Yep. You know so many guys who have fallen off roofs because of ladder failure. Yeah, that's the thing, Veritax. So here we go. How should you set it up? Make sure you set up the ladder at the required angle using the 4-to-1 rule. So there's a 4-to-1 rule. You guys remember this. For every 4 feet up. Place the base of your ladder 1 foot from the wall. So if you have a 4-foot ladder, the base of it should be 1 foot away from the wall. If you have an 8-foot ladder, it should be 2 feet away from the wall. 4-to-1 rule. Remember that. That's easy to remember. This placement will set the ladder at a pitch of 75 degrees, creating the ideal angle for climbing, balance, ladder strength, and helps prevent the ladder from slipping. Make sure to always follow the instructions provided by the manufacturer. Extend the ladder at least 3 feet above the landing platform or the point of support. So you can see in the picture here, the ladder goes up, but it goes 3 feet past. Place the ladder on a firm, level footing. Use a ladder with slip-resistant feet or secure blocking. Brace or tie the bottom of the ladder. Rest both side rails on the top support and secure the ladder to prevent slipping. This rocks. All right, thanks, DJ. Sometimes safety has to be learned the hard way. I know. What should you know about climbing ladder? Check for overhead power lines and other hazards before setting up a ladder. Yeah, look up. Look up and live. That's what the slogan was here. Clear the area around the base and top of the ladder of debris, tools, and objects. Wear a safety harness and tie the ladder off to a proper anchor. I would argue with that because you have to have an engineered anchor in order to tie yourself off. So most of the times when you're using a ladder, you don't have an anchor to tie off to with a lanyard. Ensure that only one person is on a single width ladder only. Only one person is allowed on each side of a double width ladder. Maintain 3-point contact, keeping your hands on 1 foot or 2 feet in one hand. Grasp the rungs while climbing the ladder, not the side rails. If your foot slips on a ladder, hold on to something. Onto rungs is easier than holding onto the side rails. Wear protective footwear, slip-resistant soles and heels. Ensure that all electrical equipment used during ladder work is in good condition and properly grounded. Rest frequently to avoid arm fatigue and disorientation when the work requires you to look up and reach above your head. Drape your arms over a rung and rest your head against another rung or side rail. If you become dizzy or panicky, climb down slowly. What should you avoid when climbing portable ladders? Don't use ladders when a safe means of access available and practical. Don't use a ladder in passageways, doorways, driveways, or other locations where a person or vehicle can hit it. Don't place a ladder against flexible or movable surfaces. Do not straddle the space between a ladder and another object. Don't erect ladders on boxes, carts, tables, scaffolds, or other unstable surfaces. Do not use ladders on ice, mud, or other slippery surfaces. Don't stand a ladder on any of its rungs. Ladders must rest on side rails. Don't allow anyone to stand under a ladder. Don't support ladders on their rungs. Do not overreach from a ladder. Move is required. Do not use any type of ladder near overhead power lines. That's right. All that from the Canadian Centre of Occupational Health and Safety. These guys are an excellent resource. This is specifically step ladders because that's what we use the most of. We use step ladders. So check the load rating that is marked on the side of the step ladder. Yeah, so that'll be rated like this. It'll be out of a grade. It'll be 1AA, 1A, 1, 2, or 3. So 1AA is construction and industrial use, and it's good for 375 pounds. 1A is only good for 300 pounds. 1 is good for 250 pounds. Grade 2 is good for 225 pounds. And a grade 3, which is household and light duty with load rating of 200 pounds. So make sure you look at that. If you guys are going to buy a ladder, go look at the side of it. It'll have a tag. It'll say what model, what the length is, how high up you can work on the thing, and it'll have the grade on it. So check and make sure that the grade is good for you. If you're a bigger fella, if you weigh 250 pounds, maybe get the one that's good for 300 pounds. You know, if you're not as heavy, maybe you can get away with a grade 2. Multiple people on the ladder. This ain't Belgium. Lift and carry the ladder when moving it. Don't push or pull the step ladders from the side. Repeated sideways movement can make ladders unstable since they are weaker in those directions. Face the step ladder when climbing up or down. Keep your body centered between the side rails. So a lot of this for step ladders is the same as just regular portable ladders. Work at the appropriate height for the ladder. Generally speaking, you have climbed too high if your knees are above the top cap of the step ladder, or if you cannot maintain a handhold on the ladder. So once again, you've climbed too high if your knees are above the top cap of the step ladder. Yeah, DJ, always over spec. Nothing wrong with it. Maintain a firm grip. Use both hands when climbing. Keep both feet on the ladder. Do not stand on a ladder and another object at the same time. For example, 1 foot on a ladder and 1 foot on another object. They even have a thing here for how high should a person stand on a step ladder. So for 4 foot, stand at the 2 foot level. At 5 foot, stand at the 3 foot level. 6 foot, stand at the 4 foot level. 7 foot, stand at the 5 foot level. 8 foot is 6 foot, 10 foot is 8 foot, 12 foot is 10 feet. So it looks like 2 feet, whatever size your ladder is, you can only stand at the 2 foot level. You can stand higher, but then you might get hurt. Do not shift or walk a step ladder. Yeah, don't do that. Do not stand, climb, or sit on the step ladder, top, or pail shelf. Do not overload. Do not use a step ladder as a brace or as a support for a work platform. Yeah, even there they have a picture of the guy standing on the very top. And it's like, don't stand on the top. That's just careless. And you're going to get hurt. You're going to fall. Do not climb a step ladders leaning against a wall. Use a straight ladder instead. Do not use step ladders on slippery surfaces. Do not use step ladders on soft ground where one leg may sink in, because then you'll fall off, yeah. Grade 2 won't work for you, tits. Okay. Do not climb the back of a step ladder. Yeah, those aren't meant for climbing. Do not use ladders in passageways, doorways. Same thing. You're going to get hit. Do not carry tools or equipment while climbing. At 40 foot, stand by God. Yeah, tits. And it even gives you a breakdown of what everything's called. Right front rail, left front rail, the feet, steps, braces, top, shelf, right rear rail, spreader lock. They even have extension. Here's one for extension ladders. They have one on inspection, storage, and handling. All the good information that you would need. Extension ladders, you have to be careful because when you're pulling up the one to the other, make sure they lock together. They'll have locking, not locking pins, but they'll have little cups that'll go over the rungs. And you make sure that's locked in place before you even decide to climb up. And it looks like it's always buddy system with extension ladders. Somebody to help you lift it up. Somebody to help you when you have to extend it. And yeah, tying it off at the top. Right here it shows, it's not a very good picture. They didn't... But it shows a tie-off here and how it extends past so that you can climb up easier. But that's what you do. You tie it off, and that way it will not move away. Okay, David, thanks for coming out, man. You got to go. Your arthritis flared up. Got to head to bed. Okay. Appreciate you coming by, David. Thanks a lot for the support here. And I appreciate your questions about ladders and what do you do with them? How to use them safely. Once again, the 4-in-1 rule applies. For every 4 feet up, you come 1 foot away from the wall. And yeah, make sure you tie off the extension ladders because they are long. You are going to be way up in the air. You're going to be 20 feet in the air. And you want that... you don't want that slipping out from under you. You want a guy to help you out, actually. You want somebody to be there and help support the bottom of it. Yeah, arthritis hasn't gotten you yet, tits. Knocks on wood. I hope it doesn't strike me either. I'm hoping I don't have to deal with anything like that. So, too soon do we try to take care of our bodies. When we get older, it's like, oh well, I guess I better take care of my body. You should have when you were younger, not waited until later. But those are the things that happen. But yeah, that's all the safety for ladders, everybody. Step ladders, portable ladders. Just remember the belt buckle rule. Don't put your belt buckle past the rails. Don't on a step ladder. Make sure your knees don't go above the top step, and then you shouldn't fall off. I don't want to hear about anybody falling out of a ladder. Okay, I don't want you guys coming back to me and going, "Pop, I fell off a ladder." So I'm just gonna do the slow head shake. Like, what did I tell you last week? Huh? What did I tell you? Come on. Anyways, I think it's time to wrap it up here, fellas. We did pretty well. We got through quite a few tools. I know there's more to get to. Well, we can always do that next time. More tools and more safety around the house. Ladders, I have ladders in my garage, and I'm definitely going to use them around the house. So, ladder safety. Don't fall off a ladder. You never know what kind of injury you're going to get falling off a ladder. So, yeah. Also use ladders. Don't climb on furniture or other structures because you don't know if the weight rated for you to do so. That's a good point, Veritax. Karma's going to spank you like you paid for it eventually. Yep. Like Veritax says, don't use a 5-gallon pail. Don't use a folding chair. It's not meant to be stood on by you. It's meant to be sit on. You're going to take a step off and you're going to just fall right off of there. So don't do that. I really want to thank everybody that showed up today. It was great seeing you guys. People like David Glenn, Anime Night. I know you're streaming now, but thank you for stopping by. Tits and Ray Guns, it's always great to see you. And Veritax, of course. Like having good chats with you. James, you got some good knowledge there to pass along. DJ Ronnie G, you enjoy the rest of your weekend there, buddy. It's always great seeing you stop by. If you guys like tech, turtles, and astronomy, you better check out DJ Ronnie G. He's got some good stuff going on his channel. Godzillionaire, it's always a pleasure, of course. You bring the knowledge as well. You know your stuff. Keep me honest. Keep me in line. Make sure I don't go too overboard on stuff. And, anybody else who is listening, lurking, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. It was a great night tonight. A guy that climbed on his kitchen counter to replace a pot light, and apparently it was built substandard, and his leg fell down through the counter. Oh my God. Right through the countertop. That's sad. You're supposed to put a pallet on a forklift and have someone raise you up. Yeah, right, Godzilla. Don't listen to him, you guys. He's fibbing. Don't listen to him. I'm not going to say that I haven't done that in my career, but not recently. Way back in the days, maybe. But most of the time, I was the forklift driver. But yeah, it's not a good thing to do. You have this video on tools of the future you want to send you. How do we get it to me? Tits. Twitter? DM me on Twitter. My Twitter is at PopCultureMech1. Let me see here. Bump and bump. Let's copy that and paste that. There you go, you guys. That's my Twitter. You want to, get in touch with me. You want to send me some stuff? Feel free. I'm not constantly on Twitter because that's not right. I don't feel good about that. But, yeah. Wooden pallet, metal forks. We could go wrong. Hasn't seen the forklift bloopers I shared a year ago? Oh, man. Yeah. If you're climbing on a ladder and anything is overhead, you may need a hard hat. Yep. A hard hat, a lot of guys are like, oh, well, what's going to fall on my head? Well, a hard hat is mostly so you don't bang your own head. I mean, stuff falling, it's gonna smash your head hard. It's probably gonna hit you on the shoulder more than likely. But yeah, it's a thing to think of as well. You know, even a bump cap, you can get them at you can get them at Home Depot. Hard hats to wear. If you're really concerned and you want to be extra safe, by all means, wear one like that. Your old behind has social media. You don't even have a MySpace? Oh, okay. I could send you my email. How about that? Do you have email, tits? Should. Do you? Can I send it to you like that if I put my email in there? It's just it's my pop culture one, so it's not like I'm outing myself or anything. Under a Rock, football, and it's cold. Tomorrow's show. Oh, yes, that's right, DJ. It's Floral. Floral will be doing his Under a Rock. I do like to tune in and see Floral and Mrs. Flu and Punkwaddle, and sometimes there's that Brooklyn robot, Petey. He's my favorite Brooklyn robot. Hey, I'm driving he. I'm auto driving he. Hard hats make sense. You got nails sticking out of your attic ceiling. Oh, yeah. You have the Gmail. Okay. Let me enter it here. There you go. Anything you want to send me there, just lay it on me there, and I'll get it. Pretty simple. popculturemechanic@gmail.com. You can get a hold of me there. You can also join my Discord server if you feel so inclined. Or, just hit me up on Twitter. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for coming out. I am going to wrap her up now. Please do me a favor and hit that like button, follow, subscribe, whatever your platform you're watching me on. I stream on Kick and Rumble and Twitch and YouTube. So, you can check me out at any of those. And please spread the word. Let everybody know. There's this guy on YouTube and all these other ones. He's the tradesman, and he talks about trades on Tuesday. There's other channels out there too. People I personally watch and enjoy, like Pacific 414 and DJ Ronnie G. Brandon the Anime Guy. There's Carl at the RNG Podcast. I was watching his podcast before I started mine today, so he was playing Luigi's Mansion, and it looked fun. There's Tomby. He's the bloke across the water in England, and he's a genuinely good bloke. I like watching Tomby's stuff. There's Angry Canadian, Nerdporo Lifeform, and our friends Whoopa, Blaine, and of course Punkwaddle. So coming up, everybody, Saturday, game day. For more Dragon Quest IV. I think I'm on the home stretch now. Gonna make the long climb up the tower and see if I can't finally beat this thing. So I'll be doing that on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Stop in if you want to see some retro gaming going on. Then on Sunday Anime Chat, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, it's going to be anime for beginners. If you are new to anime and you're just kind of wondering what you should watch and what you shouldn't watch and what's going to scar you for life and what's safe for you to watch, tune in. I'll let you know. I've already suggested 3 series, and those were Star Blazers, Robotech, and what was that third one? Oh, Battle of the Planets. Those are all good shows to get you started on your anime journey. And you can tune in on Sunday, and I'll tell you a few more to get you started. And then once you're not an apprentice anime watcher, once you're a journeyman, then you can graduate up to the next level of anime watching. You mean even crawling under something the number of times you hit your head thinking it would be okay because you can't judge depth always? Woo. I mean, that's a good point, Veritex. You're like, oh, I think my head has enough room. Bang! And then you're just got a big goose egg on your head from hitting it. And metal doesn't give. When metal meets skin, the metal has no give to it, and you pay the price for that. But yeah, come on by on Sunday. You want to see some introductory or some beginner animes to watch? I've got them for you. And then we loop around again to Tuesday, more Trade Stock Tuesday. I can talk more about more tools that we can use. And we'll go over some more safety around the house too, because we need that. Most accidents happen at home, so we got to bring that attitude from work of working safe home with us so that we don't have accidents. Because sometimes the accidents we have will affect our loved ones for the rest of our lives, whether it's losing an eye or breaking an arm or not even be able to go to work to earn a living. You have to take care of yourself so you can take care of your loved ones. That's the most important thing. Otherwise known as Gatchaman. Yes, Tits, you got her. Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. Berserk is definitely German. Yes. Yeah, I have not partaken in Berserk. I don't think I will. But I have heard about it, and that's fine. It might not be for me. So there you go, everybody. That's the show for tonight. Once again, I really appreciate you guys spending time with me. I hope you had fun, because I sure did. And we will do this again next week. But until then, everyone, I hope I see you on Saturday. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.